Hi, Dianne. It's another episode and another interesting topic. What do you got for me today?
I was actually discussing with a friend of mine this week how we both feel like we are caterpillar soup.
Okay, here we go again. Like, what the heck? What the F is caterpillar soup? And tell
So,
me I'm not eating it, please.
okay, you're not eating it and you're not putting it on your face, so don't be alarmed.
Okay,
But
good news.
the thing
Yay!
is, there's a misconception. So every year since Evan was 2, I have gone down to the lake and picked up monarch butterfly caterpillars, and we have reared them and then waited for them to turn into monarchs and set them free. And
Yes.
so I have a couple of friends that have been on that journey with me a few times. And I think there's a misconception that people think that when that caterpillar goes into the chrysalis or cocoon, depending on whether it's going to be a moth or a butterfly, that they are already partially formed and wings just sprout out of the body that they already had as a caterpillar. And that's not the case at all. It's actually much more intense than that and much more fascinating. They actually
So,
go into their Sorry,
so
go ahead.
sorry. I want to, for those who've not gone through this incredible process, I think it would bear like a couple of seconds to actually talk about the process.
Sure.
You, like you said, you've been doing this for since the kids were babies, and I know that you roped me in to do the same thing with my kids. And
Yep.
I use roped in lightly because there was very little roping required. It was a really very cool experiment. And really what you're talking about is when you find these little chrysalis. Is that
The
right?
caterpillars first, and
Caterpillar,
then
yeah.
yeah.
So you find them in the wild because a lot of you can actually buy this stuff right now. I know friends of mine who have bought kits, and I'm thinking, just go to the lake. I
Right?
should talk to Diane. So you go and you get this caterpillar. Oh, it's the caterpillar, not the chrysalis. So you're going to get
Yeah.
the caterpillar, you put it in a container, and you can actually watch this incredible metamorphosis. So what you're talking about is taking it one step further to actually explain the process. It's not just sprouting wings. Okay, so now we've
Right.
set the stage for people who have
So
no idea or
what
just are not
happens?
Diane speed.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
So the part that I and myself, I had always thought that it was less invasive than it actually is. But when the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, it actually completely dissolves inside of that chrysalis and becomes a liquid where none of the components from the actual caterpillar remain. And it has to have almost a little DNA. I liken it to that part in Jurassic Park where the little DNA talks to you about what's actually happening while they're cloning the species of dinosaurs. That's what it feels like to me when you see the actual video of how it actually works. And so
Wow.
they're just building blocks in their DNA of what they're supposed to turn into. And miraculously, nature knows the way and it just puts all those building blocks back together and turns from a soup, because it is actually liquid in there for quite some time, into the little parts that end up becoming the butterfly. So it's
Hmm.
not that they just go in there as a caterpillar and sprout wings and then come out in the little body shrunk. They literally, it's a complete and total metamorphosis. So they go into their, turn into a soup. The soup has the building blocks. The building blocks turn into the new, entirely different creature than what they went in as. And I feel as a menopausal woman, I'm in caterpillar soup.
Oh,
I feel like this is where we're at now. We're just evolving into that entirely different person than you were before. You still have the components or the memory of the components, but so many things are changing in your body that it almost feels like you're becoming an entirely different being,
yeah.
which I hope is on the right track to being something better or just different than you were before. Because if you're not going through all this for some good reason, then it would be extremely upsetting.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, right? Because to liken it to menopause or what happens to women's bodies when they get older, I think a lot of women feel like you're no longer able to bear children, or at least maybe they're made to feel. I won't say necessarily that all women feel this way. I feel like I can speak for myself. You reach a certain age and you are no longer able to have children. And I think some women feel somewhat relief. I feel some women feel sad because that's a huge part and it's our superpower. Like women are
Yep.
the only ones on the planet, and not all women can actually create this incredible, we're creating life literally. So I like that you've, like I said, likened it to this metamorphosis that happens with a caterpillar. I don't like the idea of being soup.
It's just the whole all of the things that go along with it, the hot flashes, the joint pain, the sleeplessness, all of the different things that they're discovering are part of menopause. There has to be some positive at the end, and I think some of the positives are the knowing yourself better, having the intuition, having, the forethought to be able to watch yourself and look around and help out others whenever you can, the checking in with people that might be struggling, all of those sort of matriarchal things that happen in your sort of crone years after you've gone through menopause. And
Grown.
hopefully getting towards the point of having higher intellect and better intuition and all of the things that come along with getting older. That definitely one of the biggest things is the no longer giving a shit what anybody thinks about you. That was
Absolutely.
exhausting. I don't know how I lasted through my teenage years of constantly having to feel like I was living up to somebody else's standards. That's completely gone to the wayside.
Yeah. Oh,
Like me, and if you don't, fuck off. So
yes. I love that you say that because I don't think all women are there yet. I don't think I'm there yet. Not that I have any self-esteem issues. It's like you said, you reach a point in your life where you reach, this is me. We both just had birthdays. I'm a little bit further along than you. I'm approaching my, is it sixth decade? I have one more year before I hit my sixth decade. And there's a lot of things that I think give you pause when you reach a certain age. And for me, it's like I'm never going to look better, feel better. I'm never going to
right.
do better. I'm never going to build that
Well,
tech empire that I hope I would. And for me, I'm a little bit sad about it, but I like that I haven't reached the point yet where I have reached, I don't give a shit anymore. Like I don't give a shit, but I do give a little bit of a shit. And
I give a shit about certain things. More so, I give a shit about people. But
mm,
as far as what others think about me or where I am or how I look or any of that, I
yeah,
legit do not give a shit. And it's freeing. It really is. Being
yeah,
able to say whatever you want whenever you want it and not have to wonder what others think.
yeah. I think that's what giggles and shit is for us, right? It's that point in our life where we are able to freely say, things on this show out loud that we probably have wanted to say for decades but have not reached a point in our life where we feel free enough to do that. So maybe this is the liberation that I need in order to fully come into my don't give a shit years. Yeah, that's awesome. So I think it'd be great if we actually posted in the comments or the description for those who have no idea what the heck this whole metamorphosis is about, because it's cool. If you have grandkids in particular, or if you want to share this process, I think we'll put in the description how you can actually do this without having to go buy a kit, because it's super easy to actually go through the monarch butterfly metamorphosis. It truly is a really cool process.
It is. I'll actually get you to post a link to a great organization called monarchwatch.org.
Okay.
And on that site, they give you all of the information you need about the kind of containers you need to rear your monarchs, how much milkweed you need to gather once you get them, because you do have to feed them for the whole time that you have them. They also have a tagging system. So you can order tiny little stickers that when when you're letting your butterfly go, you can put a tag on the wing. They give you all the instructions on how to do it. There's
Really?
people that are doing the conservation work in Mexico, and when they gather the monarchs, when they've made their full migration back to Mexico, they gather the data from those tiny little stickers.
Mhm.
You can actually look online, see if yours made it all the way to Mexico. There's some great work
That's
being done,
cool.
and yeah, there's good conservation work being done for monarchs.
So remind me the whole process. So from the point where if you live down close by the lake, it's looking for milkweed. If you live up closer north, again, you're looking for milkweed in the wild. And if you turn over the leaves, you can actually find the caterpillars, correct?
Correct. So it's usually the second to third week of August, depending on weather. So you should try it first in the second week of August. Go down to close to Lake Ontario, find a patch of milkweed, have a look under some leaves. Look for eaten leaves. If they have little holes in them, that's a good indicator there might be a caterpillar on the underside of the leaf. My son is so good at it, actually, he finds eggs. He goes down there and he can actually find caterpillar eggs, which are about the size of a half of the head of a pin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you take the whole leaf that has the caterpillar on it because you don't want to disturb them. You don't want to touch them because they are quite fragile. You just
Hmm.
continually feed them by putting new leaves in the enclosure that you have them in until they've eaten that whole leaf and then give them another one. You can keep the milkweed in the fridge in a baggie with a little wet paper towel in there. And then when they're ready, they go up to the top of their enclosure, hang upside down in a J shape, and turn into a chrysalis, where they then become soup.
So before they come soup, so the size of container is usually like the size of a huge pickle jar, right? Like a big 2 gallon, 3 gallon, 4 gallon
Yeah,
jar.
they honestly don't need a whole ton of room, especially if you only have one caterpillar that you're taking with you. They just need enough room because all they're going to do is eat and poop the entire time that you have them until they
Yeah.
turn into a chrysalis. And they
And they
typically
need
stay on one leaf until it's fully eaten and then move on to the next.
and they need air, so there needs to
Yeah.
be some air holes in it. And how long does the whole process take again?
It's about 3 weeks from beginning to end, from the
Three
time you find a
weeks.
caterpillar until you let it go. So they tend to be around for the first week of school, which makes
Mm,
it great if you have really young kids that they can take
mm.
them for the first day of school if you happen to have them in the right timing and your kids are that age where you can trust them to take it to school. This is all, and I'm sure it's very controversial as far as should we leave them alone? Should we pick them up? There's a train of thought that says that they have a better chance if you're keeping them inside because they don't have a chance of being eaten by predators. But there's other people that say you should just leave the monarchs alone and let them do their thing and let nature take its course. It is a
Sure.
miraculous thing to show to your kids. And if you follow the guidelines on monarchwatch.org, they do give great instructions on what kind of enclosure to build or keep or and all of the steps from beginning to end.
And then so once it actually does go through the metamorphosis and it becomes a butterfly, you're letting it go. So you
Oh yeah.
basically take it outside, make sure it has plenty of room to fly away, and then it'll fly away and continue its migration process down to Mexico.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's a really cool process. I remember the kids were enthralled when we did it when they were younger. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. And I also highly recommend for those women who are maybe not feeling so wonderful about themselves to look at it as a butterfly. You're going through a change, a significant metamorphosis into something completely different and something completely more beautiful. And whoever says that you can't continue to do great things the older you get, that's wrong. There are so many great things that
Totally
you can
wrong.
do. Yeah, including grandchildren. So
Yeah. Yeah. Highly recommend those. Highly.
I recommend. All right. All right. Listen, that has been a really informative episode. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
All right. So, for those who want more information, just check out the description and we'll have all of the information there. And we'll also have a wrap up in our newsletter that comes out once a month. Keep on giggling. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Giggles and Shit Show. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe on Substack at gigglesandshit.substack.com so you'll never miss an episode. You'll get all our content, podcasts, videos, and newsletter delivered right to your inbox. Join our chat to post your very own shit or hit list. We want to hear about the shit that's driving you crazy or making your week ahead. Come laugh, cry, and keep it real with us and our Gen X community.